Okay, so I'm going to refer back to the chart that we made in the last video. So I is I. I squared is -1. I cubed is -I. And I to the fourth power is just 1. You could write this somewhere on your notes. It might be helpful. You can always create the chart yourself because we went through how to do that. Now let's say we have some larger power of I. So let's say we have I to the 23rd power. And we don't want to write out the chart 23 times because it's going to take too much time. Well, we can use our rules of exponents to simplify this. So think of I to the 23rd. Think about 4 going into 20. So how many, or 23. How many times does 4 go into 23? 5 times, right? And then you have 20 and you have 3 left over. Okay, so think of it as I to the 20th times I to those 3 left over. Now I'm going to write that 20 as I to the 4th to the 5th power. And then I still have the I cubed over here. Okay? Now, that's true because 4 times 5 is 20. And then it all follows our exponent rules, like up here, 20 plus 3 is 23. Okay? Now, you might be saying, why did you choose 4? Why didn't you divide by 3 or 5 or something else? Well, I want to know what I to the 4th is because that's 1. So every time I have an I to the 4th, that's just going to be a 1. So we're always going to divide that higher exponent by 4. Okay, now I to the 4th inside the parentheses, that's just 1 to the 5th power, right? And 1 to the 5th power, that's just 1. So I'm getting I cubed, but that's on my chart. I cubed is equal to -I. So eventually we have to get it to where there's no exponent higher than 1 on I. So your choices are for your final answer. It's either going to be one of these 4 choices. It's either I, -1, -I, or 1. Those are the choices. Okay, and you just have to figure out which one. So I'll show you the long way and then I'll show you a little shortcut. Okay, so this one says simplify I to the 75th power. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to take 4 and divide it into 75. Okay, so long division here. Remainder 3 again. Okay, well, that's unfortunate that I chose the number I did, but that's okay. All right, so I'm going to have that 75 is the same thing as I to the 4th to the 18th power times I cubed. Okay, so 4 times 18, I don't know what that is, 72, right? Plus the 3 from the remainder, that's where we get the 75, okay? So, but the I to the 4th is just 1. So this is just going to be 1 times I cubed, which is going to be I cubed, which is going to just be -I. Okay. So, it's not always I cubed, it just happens to be the numbers I picked this time. You really are just interested in what's the remainder, because that's going to tell you which of the 4 choices you have. Okay? So we'll do that on the next problem. It says simplify I to the 82nd power. So I'm going to take 4 and divide it into 82. Let's see, 4 goes into 8 2 times. So I have a remainder of 2, right? Okay. Is that how we do that? Well, it's 20, right? Okay. So that looks weird, but that's right. Okay, so 20 times 4 is 80, and the leftover is 2. Okay. So that's the remainder. So in other words, I to the 82nd is the same thing as I squared. Okay? You can write out the 4, I to the 4th to the 20th power if you want to and show that, but it's just going to be I squared because all those 4s are going to just be 1s and you're going to have 20 of them. 1 times 1 times 1, 20 of those 1s, but 1 times 1 times 1 is just 1. Okay. And we know what I squared is. I squared is -1. So There you go. So that's how we simplify these.